Hello and welcome to students returning to Level 5 at the University of Suffolk East Coast College. So welcome back to your studies. We will reintroduce you to studying after the summer break and explain the differences between study at Level 4 and Level 5, remind you of the university's policies and procedures and outline your to-do tasks before you come back. So the topics we will cover study differences between Level 4 and 5, student finance, SEND and DSA, academic integrity, including artificial intelligence use, student charter, student life, and student support services. So you will experience a range of learning experiences, including synchronous and asynchronous activities, flipped learning and problem-based learning. You will engage in collaborative learning approaches, enabling students to become active members of the learning community. You shouldn't expect teaching to be the same as last year. So the study differences in terms of learning and teaching. So learning and teaching at Level 4 is guided, whereby you are given detailed guidance on how to prepare for contact sessions directed towards following up reading, clearly structured learning, clear pathways through set learning activities, detailed guidance on how to reflect on learning and feedback, and you're expected to engage with smaller assessments for formative feedback. Level 5 is different, as the teaching and learning is negotiated, whereby you are required to draw on your first year experience to prepare for sessions, using a blend of suggested methods and materials and those you source and evaluate for yourself. You will be supported to identify and negotiate with staff appropriate learning activities to meet your needs, and you will be expected to engage in collaborative work with reduced guidance and direction and independently reflect on your own learning ideas. You will be told less what to do. So the study differences between Level 4 and 5, what you know. So the following are the knowledge attributes that the Framework for Higher Education Qualifications, the FHEQ, expect you to have at Level 5, and we have included Level 4 for comparison. So at Level 5 there are 4 points. Knowledge and critical understanding of the well-established principles of their areas of study and the way in which these principles have been developed. The ability to apply underlying concepts and principles outside the context in which they were first studied, including where appropriate the application of those principles in an employment context. Knowledge of the main methods of inquiry in the subjects relevant to the named award, and the ability to evaluate critically the appropriateness of different approaches to solving problems in the field of study, and understanding the limits of their knowledge and how this influences analysis and interpretations based on that knowledge. So the study differences between 4 and 5 and what you have to do. So the following are the skills attributes that the Framework for Higher Education Qualifications expect you to demonstrate at Level 5. Again, we've also included Level 4 for comparison. So at Level 5, use a range of established techniques to initiate and undertake critical analysis of information and to propose solutions to problems arising from that analysis, to effectively communicate information, arguments and analysis in a variety of forms to specialist and non-specialist audiences, and deploy key techniques of the discipline effectively, and undertake further training, develop existing skills and acquire new competencies that will enable them to assume significant responsibilities within organisations. So in terms of student finance, so please note that student finance has to be applied for each year. This includes tuition fees and maintenance loan. Please make sure you have secured your finance and have proof it is in place. And if it isn't, take action. So academic integrity and AI. So we have a duty to maintain academic standards, to enforce the university policy, and it is your responsibility to avoid infringements. The consequences are more severe at Level 5 of not doing so. The two camps are poor academic practice and academic misconduct. Note that at Level 5 offences are more likely to be classed as academic misconduct. So poor academic practice. So a reminder that poor academic practice is poor scholarship resulting from a lack of knowledge, understanding and practice of the skills required to be academically literate. You will be supported to work through any issues. Whereas academic misconduct is any action by a student which gives or has the potential to give an unfair advantage in an examination or assessment, or might assist someone else to gain an unfair advantage, or any activity likely to undermine the integrity essential to scholarship and research. That includes plagiarism, collusion, contract cheating, fabrication, cheating and failure to have ethical approval. The QR code at the bottom right of the page will take you to the policies on the university website. So academic misconduct. These are the policy definitions. So plagiarism is the presentation of someone else's work or ideas as your own without proper acknowledgement. Collusion is the unauthorised cooperation between at least two people, normally with the intent to deceive. Contract cheating is the submission of work where you have paid or solicited another person to produce the work on your behalf, and this includes the use of artificial intelligence. Fabrication is the invention, alteration, or falsification of data or evidence that contributes towards assessment. Cheating, any behaviour which we would reasonably know would interfere with the fair operation of the assessment process and could gain an unfair advantage. And failure to have ethical approval, embarking on research activities which require ethical approval without that approval being formally granted. So we'll just do a little bit about academic integrity and AI. So AI use is considered as the submission of work that has been produced on your behalf. AI can be used in some circumstances, such as to help plan work. However, its use must be correctly referenced and limited. Note that in most cases, AI doesn't produce responses that meet the assignment brief, so you will always be better doing the work yourself. So the Student Charter. So the University of Suffolk Student Charter is updated annually. It clearly sets out the expectations from each other in terms of what you can expect from us and what we can expect from you. Makes it clear what you have agreed to do as a student and what could happen if you don't. It is important to have a look at this charter to familiarise yourself with its contents. We are all partners in the academic community, and this can be found by clicking the QR code at the bottom right of the page. So student life. So a reminder that we have a supportive, positive environment where everyone will be treated with dignity, respect and courtesy at all times. You are reminded to conduct yourselves in accordance with these parameters. Think about the reputation of the university and the student body and for the effect the behaviour may have on others. We want you all to produce your best work. So student life. Please be aware of your obligations regarding conduct, acceptable standards of behaviour, and importantly, the likely consequences of not meeting them. You are reminded that you confirmed you accept the policies, procedures and regulations of the university, including general regulations, student charter, dignity at study, online safety, acceptable use of IT, and the student discipline procedure. The QR code on the right of this page will take you to the policies on the university website. So student support. So just to remind you of the range of support we have available to you. So your course leader and tutor, these are your first point of contact for any issues. The SEND officers, and their email is send@eastcoast.ac.uk. The wellbeing officer, and the email is wellbeing@eastcoast.ac.uk. Learning services, and their email is library@eastcoast.ac.uk. And the HE office, and the email is he@eastcoast.ac.uk. There's also a range of mental health support services available to you as well. So in terms of sending your RAA, which is your Reasonable Adjustments Agreement, so please note it's your responsibility to update us if your circumstances have changed. If your Reasonable Adjustment Agreement, your RAA, needs updating, then it's up to you to contact your SEND officer, and that can be done at send@eastcoast.ac.uk. So learning services. So the ECC Library and Digital Support Team is available to all students. So what you need to do is to log on into the ECC Teams page and click Teams. Select Join Teams and use the code C1G9B64 to register. The UOS LibGuides page is available at libguides.uos.ac.uk. and that gives you access to Discover service for subject databases, ebooks and academic journal research. So the library help desks are staffed Monday to Thursday 8:30 to 4:30 and Friday 8:30 till 4. The Great Yarmouth Campus Library number is 01493 419 220, and the Lowestoft Campus Library is 01502 525 169, and the Lowestoft Sixth Form Library is 01502 525 667. The Library Help Desk email for all sites is library@eastcoast.ac.uk. So in terms of mental health support, just to remind you of the links to a range of local services at the East Coast College website. The QR code on the right hand side of the page will take you to the college website where there's further information about all of these.